Lesson 39, difference of two squares and rhombus. So we're going to learn another special product today, and that is that whenever we have a difference of two squares or a subtraction of two numbers that are square, we get an easy factorization. And what we're going to do is we're going to put two parentheses, then we're going to put a plus and a minus inside the parentheses, and then we're going to put the square root of the first number here and here. And then the square root of the second number here and here in the second part. And that's it. That's all we have to do. So let's look at some examples where we apply this formula. So in this case, in example 39.1, I realize that I have a difference of squares. I have a subtraction of two numbers that are squares. So what we're going to do is very easy. We're just going to start by putting the parentheses. Then we're going to put the signs, plus and minus, and then the square root. So what is the square root of 4x2? Well, the answer is 2x. So I put 2x here and 2x here. Very simple. Now, what is the square root of 9? The answer is 3. So we put 3 and 3. And we're done. That is the factoring of that binomial. Now, the question says to solve, so we have to do that extra step that we learned previously. So what we're going to do is we're going to say 2x plus 3 equals 0. And 2x minus 3 equals 0. And so I pass the 3 to subtract, and then the 2 to divide. And the answer is negative 3/2. And then we do the same here. We pass the negative 3 to add and the 2 to divide. So it's 3/2 positive. And remember, we give our answer inside of braces to say what is the solution set. And that's it. Pretty simple lesson. Let's do one more. In this case, we also have a difference of squares. We're going to write parentheses, parentheses equals to 0. Now we're going to put our signs, plus and minus, and now we're going to look for the square root of 81m2. The square root of 81 is 9, and the square root of m2 is m. So we put 9m in the first part of each parenthesis. And then the square root of 25, which is 5, we put after the signs. And that's it. Now we equal that to 0. And we solve for m. We pass the positive 5 to subtract and the 9 to divide. And in this case, we pass the negative 5 to add and then the 9 to divide. And our solution, remember, our solution set is going to be negative 5/9 and positive 5/9. And that's it. Now, in the second part of this lesson, what they are reminding us are the properties for a rhombus. So since a rhombus is a parallelogram, it has the 4 characteristics that we learned before, but it also has 3 more special properties. So let's look at them. First, it says all 4 sides are congruent. So a rhombus has all equal sides. They're all congruent. Then it says that the diagonals bisect the angles. So they don't only bisect each other, but they also bisect the angles. What does that mean? That the angle here is cut in half. And this angle here, which is the same, is cut in half. And the same happens for the other one. If we draw the other diagonal, this angle is divided in half in 2 equal angles, the same here. Finally, it says that the diagonals are perpendicular. What was that word? Perpendicular means that they intersect each other, forming 90-degree angles. In this example, it says DEFG is a rhombus. The measure of the reflex angle is this angle that is here on the outside, is 280. Find A, or angle A, angle X, B, K, and C. Very, very simple, okay? So I'm going to start actually with the last one, with C, because we just talked about the fact that the diagonals are perpendicular. So they form 90-degree angles. And C then is 90. Then we're going to look at A and X. If this reflex angle is 280, then we have to subtract from 360 to find A and X. So that angle, let's say angle D, is going to be 360 minus 280. And that is going to be 80. But 80 is divided by a diagonal into two equal parts. So A equals 40 and X equals 40. Now, if these triangles that we formed are right triangles because they have perpendicular lines, so that's a 90-degree angle, then K is going to be the complement of A. So to find K, I just subtract 90 minus 40, which is 50. This would be 50. And because of the same property we learned, then B is also going to be 50. And that's it. Very simple exercise. So make sure that this is very clear. If you need to watch it again, then do so and do some practice. And I'll see you in the next lesson.